Give y'all a couple minutes to get in here, ramble around a little bit. What is going on? It is a special Thursday night live stream tonight because the biggest tournament of the year is here. It starts at 0:30 in the morning, goes for 3 days. It'll be the busiest 3 days that Lake Fork sees for the entire year, every year. The Sealy Outdoors Big Bass Splash begins tomorrow. Drop me a comment when you're here. Let me know you have arrived, as they say. We got Todd in the house, Kevin Jones, RTC 1184, John Spielman, Chase Clark. Bunch of folks joining us right off the bat, getting in. Should be a good live stream tonight. I'm excited about it. Excited to talk to you guys about some good baits. Hopefully you guys are going to win some money this week with some of the stuff we can help you with tonight. That's the idea. That's what we're trying to do here. Man, that the Fish Life app, man, the spots have been really producing. I have not even been fishing. Very rarely have I fished anything that's not on the app right now. By the way, I did just review it earlier today, this afternoon, with old Zach Watts. We went over everything on there. We did pull one spot off, added one new spot on, but everything else stayed because those are the spots that are the best that I can imagine right now. They're the best spots that I can think of right now. They're the ones I'm fishing every day. And we've been catching fish, so. And have been catching some really good unders. And we've gotten really close to it over a few times. So, they're there. Nelson from Georgia headed our way in a couple weeks. We look forward to seeing you down here, buddy. B-Law, Dusty Newton. What's up, Dusty Newton? Ryan, Richard Watts. Oh, man. The man responsible for gracing the earth with Zach Watts. Mr. Richard Watts is watching tonight. Kip Carroll, Raging Cajun, Eric Peacock, Big John's Life, Les, and Chase Garth. We appreciate each and every one. If I didn't call your name, it's because there's some of you guys popping in right now. Really appreciate every single one of you guys joining us tonight. Now we've got quite a few of you in here. Let's go ahead and break off into what's going on, what's happening. Now, disclaimer, I did not get to fish today. I wish I would have. It looked like some good conditions. So I did not fish today. But the patterns that we're talking about tonight, I can only imagine that these will continue to get better with the weather that you guys are going to be facing during this tournament and the way that it affected them today. More fish should pull into the backs of these creeks. That's where I'm focusing. There should be more getting there. As of today, there should be more coming tomorrow. And you should just be loaded up for 3 days of whacking and stacking. So let's break off into some baits here for you guys. We'll just get started with the good times right off the bat here. Can anybody give me a ribbit? Give me a little ribbit in the comments right there because y'all know what's coming. Hey, with this cloudy weather, with the rain, and with us fishing the backs of the creeks, there's a lot of flooded grass and such, a lot of edges, a lot of lines to fish. You might as well start your day off, or tomorrow probably all day, and throw the frog. Just get it out there, walking around. Hey, we've been fishing it pretty slow now, just giving it a little lazy walk has been the best way to work that frog right there. But that's definitely in the top 5, and that's a good way for you to catch a big one right off the bat early in the morning is that old frog. I'm going to have to come up with a better system here. This is discombobulated at best right here. A little touch and go in here at the moment with this rod organization. The second bait is going to be, now listen, I have thrown a wacky rig a little bit, and for whatever reason, the weightless Texas rig has just been better for me. So, we're throwing a weightless Texas rig. This is the 5-inch stick bait. The 6 cents makes the clout. If you can't get that, man, throw a Cinco, throw a Yum Dinger. They're all pretty good. I'm a big fan of this one. I feels like it catches fish as good or better than any of them. It's got a lot of shimmy, a lot of shake to it. That's a key bait to be throwing right now for sure. Especially if you get a situation where you're in the back of a pocket, you're protected from the wind, and it gets real calm on you. If that water gets flat, this bait right here save you day in a hurry. It has for us, that's for sure. And guys, don't be worried about color. My best color that I was throwing was like a watermelon blue flake. I ran out of that color, and those clouds, we're not going to get any more till December, so I'm out. I don't have any. I've thrown a black and blue flake and green pumpkin laminate. I've thrown watermelon red, and I've gotten bites on all of them. If I had that watermelon blue flake, I'd be throwing it, but I don't think it really matters that much. So don't worry too much about the color. Now, when you get that wind blowing, and you get that, the cloud cover don't hurt this none either, but when you get that wind blowing in there especially, you want to reach down and grab a hold of that chatterbait. 3/8 ounce jackhammer chatterbait in that kind of gray shad color. I'm throwing the Smoke on the Water Impact Shad as my trailer, okay? And this bait right here, it's catching the good unders. It's getting rid. What it does, when you throw that stick bait, you will catch some of those rats, those young of the year fish, those real young fish. But when you can get that wind blowing and you can get them to bite this thing real fast and consistently, you'll get rid of those rats and you'll just catch the good quality unders. You'll catch the slot fish, and you might catch an over. Our bigger fish have been coming on this bait right here in the backs of these creeks. So that is number 3. Number 4, and this bait was a player for us a couple weeks ago. Now it's coming back. This bait, they started biting it again a little bit this week. They're not just all over it, but if you're in an area and you're seeing a ton of bait fish and you really feel like you ought to be getting bit, before you bail out on it, be sure that you reach down and grab you a Gold Chrome 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait and throw it across that grass flat. Now this needs to be a small profile. A lot of these fish are keyed in on smaller bait fish right now this time of year. So you need to throw that 1/4 ounce, that little profile one. But as you can see, I'll put my finger up there. It's a little tiny bait. Give you a little size reference there, but I would not leave an area without throwing that, because there's times when we're not getting bit in an area and I'm seeing a lot of life and I'm seeing it feels like we should be catching them, and I'll throw that lipless crankbait and it'll catch 1 or 2 out of that area when nothing else did. So that's important right now that you have that one ready to go as well. And the last bait for tonight is something that's kind of unique, kind of special. We got to talk about it a little bit because it's a unique deal. There's not a lot of this going on, but in the backs of some of these creeks that have these grass mats, if you look on the edges, you can find concentrated groups of brim. There's a little bit of a brim spawn happening, I do believe, because you'll find just a small little section of a grass mat that'll have a bunch of brim that when the sun's out, you'll see them rise up to the top. You'll see those brim. I think they're spawning underneath, right on the edge of those mats where you can't really see the beds real good, but I think that's what's going on. All I know is there's concentrated groups of brim hanging out in isolated areas. If you see those brim hanging out around those edges of those flooded mats, what you want to do is pick up a light Texas rig with a little creature bait in some kind of a green color, watermelon, whatever, green pumpkin, whatever, and flip a little 1/4 ounce, 1/8 ounce Texas rig right on the edge of those mats, and that can catch you a big fish. That's a good way to get a big one right now that's keying in on those brim that are roaming around in there. You might catch a good under on it. Probably not going to be your best bet for good unders, but you might catch a big one doing that right now. So that's the top 5 baits. Those are if I was going out tomorrow, that's exactly how I'd be fishing. I'd have those exact baits tied on, and really kind of only those baits tied on, and I'll get focused, get your mind right, and get after them. Somebody asked, are you rigging the Impact Shad flat side down or flat side up, or does it matter? Well, I rig it flat side up. As a trailer on the chatterbait, when it wears out on one side, I'll flip it out to the other. It doesn't really matter when it's a trailer on the chatterbait. Now, if you're fishing it as a standalone bait on a little EWG hook, then you need to make sure that it is flat side up. That bait has a keel to it, like a boat, like the bottom of a boat, and it makes it glide through the water and do some things. So when it's not a trailer, you need to make sure that you're rigging it correctly with the flat side up. When do you start throwing the Dogma? That's a topwater walking bait by 6 Cents. By the way, if you want to order anything from 6 Cents Fishing, be sure you punch in the code Your Lake Fork Guide on the checkout screen in the little discount box there. You'll get a 10% discount on all orders. It's about time. It's about time to start throwing the Dogma. If I see schooling activity, I won't hesitate to throw it. And there is some of that going on. I've just been throwing that stick bait or that chatterbait or that lipless crankbait into those schooling fish and been able to catch them. A little swim bait on an underspin is a great schooling bait. That is another bait that I do have ready right now at all times on my boat, because when they pop up schooling, that's the one I'm throwing into them. I'm trying to go smaller profile, and that walking bait creates a little bit bigger profile. So I'm trying to go smaller profile, so I'm throwing that little tiny smash tail junior on that underspin. See if I can find another question here. What setup am I using for my stick bait? On my stick baits, I am throwing that on the 7-1 medium heavy Century Series rod. Actually, I think that's the 7-1 medium heavy Century Series 6 cents rod. When I'm throwing a weightless plastic, I want the best, most sensitive rod that I could possibly have. So that's the Century Series to me is a must on weightless plastics. It's the most sensitive rod I've ever owned, hands down. Like, it's so amazing. You feel, I mean, they go up there and sniff it, and I'm setting the hook, like swinging and missing them. So somebody says flukes aren't good right now. No, I'm not saying flukes aren't good right now. I'm throwing a stick bait that's working for me. I'm not telling you wouldn't catch them on a fluke. For me, that stick bait's been working really well, so I just haven't gotten away from it. I know I missed some questions up here. What's up from Laredo, Texas? Very nice. Lake Falcon area. Vic Pearsall said he should have stole my frog. You can't be stealing my 6 cents frog there, Big Vic. You're a big dude. I don't want to fight you. Tuned in from Broken Bow. J-Bo, John Bowling from Broken Bow, man. I'm telling you guys, John, that's a guy. That's a cool place to visit. And we've got some content, some video content coming up from Broken Bow that's going to be pretty entertaining. So you guys stay tuned for that next week. That should be some highly entertaining stuff coming up. Cody Mays in the house. Sorry I'm late. What's up, buddy? Pray for safety for everyone. A lot of folks going to be like, yeah, absolutely. Hey, guys, most importantly, man, get out there and get after it and fish hard. But most importantly, remember, this is an amateur weekend tournament. Your life is not going to change whether you win it or whether you lose it. It's going to be a crowded lake. Be safe. Keep your head on a swivel when you're running down the water. Don't depend on that other guy to be responsible. Look out for each other. Be polite to each other. Let's set a good example for what fishing is really supposed to be about this weekend, because it can get really crowded out there at times. So that's more important than all of it. Absolutely. Do I have any dates available coming up? I think I have 3 days left open at the end of October for me personally. But if you're just wanting to get out, if you have a time-sensitive need to get out, you got a certain date you're looking for, man, we can almost always find a guide that'll suit your needs. There's so many good guides around Lake Fork, and I know a bunch of them. And we're happy to set. That's one thing that we pride ourselves on at YourLakeForkGuide.com, that even if I can't get you out with me, if you're wanting me and the date's booked, but you need that date, we can find a guide that's going to do an outstanding job for you. We wouldn't send you with anybody that would do anything less than that. So if you're looking for a guide for a certain date, you can always reach out to us at YourLakeForkGuide.com. Or if you just want to go with me at the end of October, we can do that as well. So we're all about you guys, man. Whatever we can do to make y'all's experience better, make you enjoy the sport more, and enjoy your trip to Lake Fork, that's what we're going to do. Do you think with the rain, the north side of the lake will be better, or the south side coming at you from Sherman/Denison, Texas? Hey, we appreciate you joining us tonight. We haven't had any rain of any significant amount. All we've had is mist so far, and it doesn't really look like, when the tournament starts tomorrow, we're not going to get any heavy rain overnight, it doesn't look like. So, no, I don't think it's going to affect it at all. I think the cloud cover will make that backwater, that backs of the creeks, I think that'll make it better. I think that probably pushed some more fish into it today. It'll continue to push more fish into it tomorrow, and I think the backs of the creeks, the shallow water, is really going to be the deal. I'm not saying the tournament won't be one out deep. Somebody might, you never know on Lake Fork, when somebody pitches that old big worm up to the right tree on the main lake, he catches one that beats all of them. That can happen at any time on Lake Fork. That's always there. It's always a threat. But I think there will be a high percentage, like the majority of the checks will be cashed from people fishing very shallow, like very, very shallow. Square bills. Yeah, I've been hearing some guys talk about catching fish on square bills. I haven't really been throwing them because we've been fortunate. We've been catching some fish pretty good on what we've been doing. So, yeah. Fish Boy said I might not be commenting, but I'm listening. Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate you watching and listening, bud. What size shaky head on docks? I'm going to go on the dock fishing. I'm going to go a 1/4 ounce right now, unless the wind gets up. If there's heavy wind on my dock, I'll step up to a 1/2 ounce. But my shaky head on the dock right now I'm going to hopefully make it a 1/4 ounce, and I'm going to use that Divine shaky head worm. Docks are another pattern that's really good. There's a lot of things that you can do right now. The fish are transitioning, so a lot of different ways to catch them right now. We got several docks marked on the Fish Life app. I am fishing those as well at times, and a shaky head's my number one tool on those. I'm also throwing a shaky head with a little baby brush hog on it, and that's getting bit on those docks as well. So that's not a bad idea either. Somebody says, is it too early for the Movement 80X? They haven't really gotten as aggressive as I like them to be when I want to throw that Movement 80X. It can always, because it has such a crazy wobble and it deflects off stuff so hard, there's always a possibility of the Movement 80X getting a reaction from a bigger fish in shallow water. But as far as them biting it a bunch, I haven't seen it, but I wish I would have got the fish today, because they might have started biting it today with that cloud cover. That might have got them fired up enough to where they really got after that. So I know I'm saying yes to everything. I can't cross that off the list. The deal is, guys, this time of year, as we go from summer to fall and we transition, especially as we get more into fall, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat. Like, a lot of things open up. So if you're confident with a Movement 80X, a shallow diving crankbait, man, tie that sucker on and go get after it. You're liable to catch some on it. So. See the Outdoors roll call. Holla if you're going to be one of the 12,000 boats. ZW's in the house tonight. That's nice. Vic says, nope, not going to happen. The hat. What do you guys think about the hat? Y'all like that hat? It's hard to see on camera, but that is actually like a black Cryptek camo with the old Fish Life emblem on it. Then you turn it around and you got your boy. Look at there. Right there on the backside, huh? That's my new little personal headwear that I got myself. I've got another one, actually. I brought it over here. Let's see what y'all think of this one right here. Here we go. Here's number 2. How about that? Get a little. This is a little. I'm not the first one to wear this style hat, but I do like it. It looks pretty good. We got that, and then over here on the side, we got a Fish Life logo on that one as well. So we're pulling double duty on the hats, boys. We got both of them. Somebody said giveaway. Man, I gave these away to myself. I gave them to myself. This was like happy you made it through the end of summer gift to myself is what these were. This is a Richardson. Somebody said get a Richardson 112 on the Fish Life hat. We can do that. This is a Richardson 112 Year Lake Fork Guide hat with a Fish Life logo on the side. So we do have a Richardson 112. We don't have these for sale yet. I'll be honest with you. I haven't found a place where I can get these made cheap enough to sell them to you guys. Like, I'd have to charge you so much for these. I haven't found a viable outlet, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to keep looking and seeing if we can't find a place where we can get some hats that you guys can buy. Where is the Clout in stock? I think Tackle Warehouse is about the last place you can buy that Clout stick bait from 6 Cents Fishing. C-Box says he's late to the party, but we appreciate you coming. We appreciate you coming anyway. Man, you guys are dropping some serious comments tonight. Hey, if you had a question that I missed, you got something you want me to talk about, hit me up again. Pouring down rain in San Antonio. It's not pouring down rain here. It's drizzling. It's raining a little bit, but it ain't like nothing significant yet. So, yeah, let me know if you guys got comments or questions that I missed. Drop them in again. It's hard for me to keep up with all of them sometimes. So, how much longer until the spinnerbait might turn on? You know, the spinnerbait bite could be on right now, and I wouldn't know because I won't stop throwing that dang chatterbait. I'm just like addicted to that chatterbait. They should be biting it a little bit already, and I would imagine it's going to keep getting better. Like, now's the time. If you're a spinnerbait guy, now's the time to start throwing it and just keep throwing it. Start with little spinnerbaits right now, and as the fall progresses and they get more aggressive, upsize your spinnerbaits. How much do you charge for fishing seminars? I don't charge anything for our seminars. They're free. We do these live streams free. We do our seminars at Lake Fork Marina every other week for free. I don't charge anything for seminars. Somebody said, do big swim bait videos. It's been a while. We've done some in the past. It's been a while, though. You know, big swim bait is kind of a hard deal as a fishing guide. There's just so few customers that are really going to be committed enough that they want to do it. I love it when I get one that is, because I like the big swim bait deal a lot. But most of my customers want to catch fish consistently. And so that's kind of, I really try to key in on being consistent and staying around. I try to catch the best 5 fish I can every day with my customers on techniques that they can catch them on. That's part of the deal too when you're guiding. Big swim bait, when will it turn on? For me, the big swim bait bite gets a lot better when that water gets down in the 70s, lower 70s, and even in the 60s, really. Later, late October on into November. November's been my best fall big swim bait month around here for me. I really like that lower half of the 70s and that water temp in the 60s. That's when that big swim bait deal, that's when I find it works the best for the fall period. What all do I throw on that 7-1 medium heavy Century rod? So I'll throw top waters. I throw a lot of top waters on it. My top water walking baits, my Yellow Magic popper type baits, splashback poppers. I'll throw weightless plastics of all kind on it. If I was going to do it, I would drop shot on it. You could, the kind of drop shot we do here at Lake Fork, you can get away throwing on that rod. It's so light. That Century series is so light that you can get away throwing baits that are, it's a little overpowered for that technique, but you can throw them just fine with that rod because the rod is so light. Also, small square bills, like the old school little 1.5 size square bills, the Crush 50X from 6 cents. I throw those baits on that as well. Cody says he needs to get with me. He's having problems checking out the America Color Fish Life sticker on our website. So we do have Fish Life decals and some other just random gear on the YourLakeForkGuide.com website. We have a store page there where you can order stuff at. We will look into that, Cody, make sure that is get that order processed for you. Make sure that we don't have an issue going on with that product. But you can always text me what you want and we can get it ordered anytime, bud. Forks out this weekend. Where do you suggest? Lake Athens is great. Lake Hallbrook, which is right down the road, has fished really well this year. From what I've heard, I've only been out there once or twice myself, but I've heard it's getting there. Or I heard it's fishing well. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read while I talk. That doesn't work out. I'm a little simple-minded sometimes. Does 6 cents make a big walking bait? Yes, they do. They make the Dogma walking bait. They make it in a lot of different sizes, and they got a giant one. And I will tell you, in the springtime, when them gizzard shad get to spawning on them shallow points, that sucker will absolutely wear them out. That big walking bait they make, it walks better in big waves in rough water, better than any other walking bait I've ever seen. It's really good when the water's real rough. Any news on Monticello? Nope, nothing new on Monticello. I promise you guys, when I know something about Monticello, y'all will be the first to know. Planning a mid-October trip, what should I be planning for? Good fishing. Really good fishing. I love fishing mid to late October. Man, it can be, that's where it gets into the phase where it's really like, it can be anything. You can be out deep with a big flutter spoon. You can be out deep with a big jig. You can be shallow with a shallow crankbait, a swim jig, a little swim bait. You could be weightless plastic. You could be wacky worming, like you'd be top watering, frogging, flipping. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it when you get to that time of year. There really is. But good fishing. Fish that are there for one reason, to eat. Unless for whatever reason your day happens to be the day after a major cold front, you should have a good day. Man, you guys have packed the house tonight. What's up, Jared K, Justin Cover, Tom G says he'll stay tuned. Good. There was something. What about spinner baits and small swim baits? Yeah, I think we kind of covered this a minute ago, but yes. Those can absolutely work right now. I've moreover, the chatterbait and the lipless crankbait have been better for me. I have caught the schooling fish on a small swim bait on a like divine underspin, the open top hook jig head. That has been working on the schooling fish really well when they pop up, and they'll pop. Hey, just because you're in the back of the creek, don't think they won't school. They will literally pop up schooling in a foot of water sometimes right now. So you kind of need to have that option ready. But yeah, just going around throwing a spinnerbait or throwing a weedless small swim bait, absolutely. If that's your deal and that's kind of what you're confident in, you can catch them on that as well. I've been catching them on what I've been catching them on, so I haven't gone away from it. Man, it should be a good weekend for you guys. I think it's going to fish really well for you guys. I think you guys are going to catch them pretty good. What is my go-to drop shot bait? Well, I don't drop shot a lot, but there's a couple different ways that I do go about drop shot. If I'm going finesse, I have a little top secret worm that I use that this doesn't eat. It's not even for sale, but wouldn't you know, Smash Tech makes it. They make a little finesse worm, little drop shot worm that is deadly. But I'll tell you something else that I really like drop shotting a lot, especially around here, especially in East Texas. We're losing signal for some reason. Stay in there, signal. Stay in there, signal. Let me know if y'all are losing me. If y'all lose signal with me, let me know. There we go. We're back to full signal now. So I like to take a like a short rib bait. And I'm going to tell you one that's really good is that new Ned Fry from 6 Cents. That's a really good one. The old Lake Fork Tackle Ring Fry is a really good one. I like taking those fatter ribbed baits like that and rigging those on a drop shot. They have a little bit bigger profile for this dirtier water, but they still present that finesse, short, compact presentation, straight tail, stick bait type presentation, and they have that flowing action. Like that old Ring Fry, it has all that bulk to it, but it's got a real skinny core, so it's got a lot of kick and a lot of wave to it on that drop shot. And that's something that I actually at the Sealy Outdoors tournament, when I fished the Sealy Outdoors tournament as a competitor, back when the lake was low and we didn't have all the grass in the lake like we do now, that deal was one of my deals. I mean, that was my main deal was old Ring Fry on a drop shot, on a big drop shot, with like 15-pound line and a 3/8 ounce or half ounce weight and a big 3/0 EWG hook. That was kind of how I fished drop shot back then, and it made me some money. How have you recovered on your fantasy football team? I'm so glad you asked. I know most of you guys come here for fishing advice. I'm so glad you asked that because I am 2-0. I am leading the league in points scored. I am first in every category that fantasy football contains. It's worked out really well. I did a good move. I drafted Dalvin Cook. I think he's going to have a really big year. He's playing for a contract. He's got Kubiak as a coordinator, and his running backs are always really good. Aaron Jones played really well for me last week. And, of course, pulled off a miracle trade. Traded Alvin Kamara, which was the number one. I got the number one overall pick and drafted Alvin Kamara. Traded him for Patrick Mahomes because my quarterback that I drafted decided to retire an hour after our draft, Andrew Luck. But it's gone really well so far. And I picked up all the early sleepers real early. That receiver from Washington, that kid's real good. McLaurin, I got him before everybody else knew about him. Picked him up as a free agent. No big deal. But it's fantasy football, so I'll probably get roasted this week. That's the way it goes. Don't have a gold chrome, but will a shad color lipless crank work? Yeah, absolutely. That gold chrome's kind of a one-off deal for me. It's a confidence deal for me. Yeah, I don't think throwing a quarter-ounce shad pattern would hurt you at all. I think that would work just fine. Oh, somebody was asking if the 7-1 medium heavy would be good for spinner baits and small swim baits. It would. I would probably go to the 7-4 medium heavy for small swim baits and spinner baits. I would want a little bit more leverage because whether it's a spinnerbait or a small swim bait, it's a single hook and it's a bigger, heavier gauge hook, and you kind of need a little more leverage to drive that bigger gauge through their head. I'll tell you, on small swim baits, my favorite rod is probably still that 7.5. There's a 7.5 heavy with a moderate tip in the Lux series. On small swim baits and for spinner baits too, that rod is like unbelievable, like really, really good. Have I been A-rigging much? I have not been A-rigging. I haven't used an A-rig at all. I will soon as we get closer, further into the fall bite. It'll come into play for me. But I have not been using an A-rig. But I've been mostly fishing shallow, so that's part of that deal too. All right, guys. I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it on up, man. So many of you guys stayed through tonight. We had so many folks in here tonight, man. I really appreciate you guys joining us. As always, we do these every Thursday night. I'll bring you the baits each and every week. Answer any questions that I can. More than anything, somebody wants a quick recap. Quick recap for top 5 baits. I'll just talk you through them. Hollow-bodied frog with these cloudy conditions, no doubt. The weightless stick bait, the 6-inch clout on a weightless Texas rig. Shad pattern chatterbait, 3/8 ounce with the impact shad as a trailer. 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait. They're starting to bite that again. And the 5th one is a small Texas rig with a little creature bait that looks like a brim. Watermelon something, green pumpkin something. And you throw that when you can see isolated packs of brim hanging around grass edges. So there's your top 5 recap. So go ahead and wrap it up with that. And just more importantly than anything, got to express, man, thank you guys so much for everything that y'all do to continue to support us. We are still working on the shirts. I thought we would have them ready for pre-order by now. The shirts are coming. We're really excited about those. I'm in love with the design we had on that shirt. So be on the lookout for those. Good luck to everybody. If you see me around, I'm going to try to get up to the lake. If you see me around, please do stop me and say hello. I'd love to put faces to screen names with all you guys. Y'all are what makes this train get down the track. So appreciate it. We'll see you next time right here on your Lake Fork Guide.